Hi, my name is Angela and I am a senior in the Elementary Deaf Education Program at TCNJ. Today we will be talking about augmentative and alternative communication for individuals with hearing loss. When you think of alternate ways of communicating, your first thought might be sign language. And while that is definitely a type of augmentative and alternative communication, AAC is actually comprised of everything from facial expressions to gesturing to writing notes back and forth. According to the American Speech Language Hearing Association, AAC is defined as all the ways we express our feelings and ideas without verbalizing or talking. Individuals with severe speech problems may use AAC to help them communicate without the pressure of using their voice. There are two main types of AAC, unaided and aided. Unaided methods mean you are simply using other aspects of your body to convey your ideas. This may be gesturing, facial expressions, pointing, or using sign language, like ASL. Aided methods bring in an external factor to assist with communication. This might include a paper and pen for writing, or a word board for individuals to point at and form sentences. Or there are more high-tech options like speech-generating devices. Speech-generating devices, or SGDs, are devices that are programmed to be your voice for you. An individual uses this device to form novel sentences and acquire new language. An SGD might take the form of a computer with a touch screen, so individuals can type out and select words that they would like to use. Those with limited motor skills can access devices that use eye gaze or head tracking. There are also devices that use switches or joystick controllers depending on the individual's physical abilities. Now I would like to show you a couple of forms of aided AAC, one that is high-tech and one that is low-tech. Speech-generating apps like this one allows the user to select words that are pre-made or type out new sentences and program the app so that it can speak for them. As you can see with this app, you can select a preformed phrase such as "my name is," and then you can go ahead and type out your name into the phone and press the sound button for it to speak.
My name is Angela.
And this will allow the child or the individual to speak without having to use their voice. This is an example of a word and symbol board. A child can have this paper, or it would be a board, on them, and they can point to the pictures and the words to form sentences to communicate. So who can use AAC? AAC is accessible and beneficial for anyone with speech or communication difficulties. Therefore, those with disabilities like cerebral palsy or autism can benefit from AAC because it gives them the freedom to clearly communicate regardless of their speech patterns. It's also great for people with a hearing loss, as it gives them an alternate option to using speech. Since sign language is an alternate form of communication, deaf and hard of hearing individuals who can't benefit from or don't want to get a cochlear implant or hearing aid still have the opportunity to effectively communicate. AAC is also useful for individuals receiving speech therapy. Having a supplemental communication method like a picture board can foster speech development. Those who are receiving speech therapy but are still uncomfortable using their voice in certain situations have the freedom to communicate in any circumstance with AAC. While there aren't necessarily cons to AAC, there are some downsides that are worth noting. Of course, AAC is still beneficial to anyone with a speech difficulty and should be considered when thinking about communication. But there's also some downsides that you must consider when choosing what AAC is most appropriate. While sign language is available to the user at all times and doesn't require any extra aids, it does limit the user with whom they can communicate. Unfortunately, the general population doesn't know the most basic of signs, and it can be frustrating for a signer to communicate on a daily basis without the aid of an interpreter or another means of communication, like note writing or gesturing. Low-tech options like symbol, picture, and word boards can be difficult to transport and awkward to carry around on a daily basis. It's also difficult to have a wide range of symbols or vocabulary available at all times because, keep in mind, these are pieces of paper or boards that must be carried around with the user. If you're using AAC with a young child, it falls on the parent and the guardian to make sure that those word boards are being transported. High-tech options can get expensive with devices starting around a couple hundred of dollars. The more inexpensive these devices are, the less capacity they have for carrying messages. However, as I mentioned earlier, there are some text-to-speech apps that are free to download on a phone. The only limitation with this is that it's less accessible for those with motor skill difficulties and have trouble typing on a phone. The good news is that as our society becomes more inclusive and accommodating for AAC users, these methods become more accessible and easier to navigate. AAC opens up a realm of possibilities for individuals with speech or communication difficulties and allows them to live with fewer barriers and limitations. Everyone deserves the opportunity to freely communicate on a daily basis, and their speech patterns should not hinder this.